like I said, there's a few melodic moments that weave in and out, and this is from, this is a Thomas Newman track from, I believe it's either The Green Mile or Road to Perdition. That really we felt like just it set us up to go either direction and go like really dark and intense, or just straddle that line but still leave us that doorway opening to going a little bit more fun, which is the route we went. So let's go over here. I know why. It's because the percussionists always turn the brass instruments up as loud as they can. No matter how many times I threatened Adam and Matt with their lives, they still take the mixer and turn all the brass instruments up as loud as possible. It's all right. It's super educational and informational, isn't it? It's great. Is this doing this for y'all earlier at all? Maybe we'll skip this.
It does all kinds of things.
Let's skip that for now. Alright, this is not my fault either.
Oh, I know what it is. It's that plug that we had trouble with earlier.
Is it?
Silver.
That's
The
still
dongle
there.
itself is a little,
This thing?
little
Yeah.
worn, yeah.
No worries, I will change the output on my end. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Or someone said earlier, if you unplug that and plug it back in, right?
We'll just listen to it through the laptop speakers instead. So here's the brass entrance here in the introduction is where we'll just a little bit of like a electronics transition with some more voiceovers, and then we go into a drum chorized version of that big band Metroliner tune. So that chorus from this part right here, letter F to letter G, ends up being a part of the Alan Parsons project tune that we actually did keep from the chorus of this tune Voyager from their album What Goes Up Must Come Down. And it just provides like after a lot of sort of the intensity of that Metroliner through it, it gives us a nice sort of horizontal moment for the brass to just open up and play loud for a bit, but have like a slightly more lyrical moment as well. And then as we get to the end, this is just a little bit more down and dirty drum corps, where we need, I hate to call it like a compulsory moment, but in the brass, but it does give us a chance to play a little bit of technique and create like sort of through original music, like our own sort of bridge from that brooding kind of dark nature into what ends up being the end of the opener, which is back to that Metroliner vibe, but sort of synthesizing the two feels. Like it's hip, kind of laid back and fun, but still kind of that brooding dark of the beginning of the show as well. Old Wayne Downey always call it 1, 2, and a 4. It's like a very, very, very stock Blue Apples kind of ending. It's like, how are we going to end this? Well, da, 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 da. That sounds pretty good. You know, growing up listening to Spirit of Atlanta lines and all of Jim Ott's books, like I'm obviously a big fan of doing that with mellophones as much as possible.
I like it too.
Which if any of you if any of you dabbled in arranging or ever wondered what sounds really hard but is just infinitely easy, it's this, because this is all just first valve and open. So it sounds very cool and very exciting, and as long as your student has lungs, lips, and a first finger, then they can play it. So super, and and putting it over, I sort of took some of the rhythmic ideas from like the more vertical moments in the big band in that Metroliner, and like synthesized them here. Originally, it was sort of a Hockett thing where like the high brass played like this duple rhythm and the low brass were offset, and it just got a little bit muddy with both of those layers, but kept that driving eighth note pair of rhythms, and then had the mellophones sort of play off of that, like 2 against 3 vibe. And again, it's both parts are very simple. If you take the mellophone part, the alto voice out of it, it's very simple rhythm. But then again, putting something in that fills in that space, something I'm a big fan of is creating space, and then if it doesn't muddy it up, if it's just 2 layers and not 3, then it ends up creating something pretty cool, especially when it's really achievable like this, and it's something the students have fun playing. It ends up sounding so enough of what my job is creating repeatable but super fun, effective moments, but again, emphasis on like achievable, repeatable. And I've been fortunate enough to study a lot of really the scores and personally with a lot of incredible arrangers, Saucedo and Jay Bocook and J.D. Shaw and Michael Klesch. The biggest thing I've learned, and that I would say, in communicating with your own arrangers, or if you're writing the book yourself, is if it's hard to write, it's probably going to be hard to play. And so that's a big lesson that I've learned in the last 8 years of doing this at the DCI level. Is the simpler it is to write, generally speaking, like the easier it's going to be for the students to understand and play. So so that gets us through, you know, the first part of the show. The ballad was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to put together, because I knew from the moment Sal pitched the idea of Up, Down, and All Around, I was like, well, we got to use music from the Disney. Like, there's like, if we don't, if we're stupid if we don't, you know. And Sal was like, you know, I've never seen that movie. And we were like, turn the lights out, or watch the first scene. That's all we did. We just watched the first scene of Up, and Sal was like, yeah, we should probably use music from Up. And I'm really proud of how we used it. Actually, I think I can access the. That's what I can do. That's what I should have done before. Sorry about that. We used it to very, in a way that I'm like I think is going to be one of the memorable moments of the summer. And it's there's nothing else going on in the field, except you hear like that very just melancholy piano theme from. It's not the first scene of the movie, but it'll make everyone remember that scene. But it's actually it's called Stuff We Did. It's a scene that happens later in the movie, but is really just really special. Maybe I can't have. It won't let me do this thing. Out of the opener, I'm glad I came back to this. This is an earlier version of the soundtrack, and out of that Metroliner opener, getting into the ballad, we use. I wanted to hint at the Up a little bit more, and we use this sort of like waltzy, old vibrato-y tune from Up. That gets us into the very sort of plaintive ballad. And so we go from that. We went through several iterations of what the very next track was going to be. I mean, so many iterations. I wanted to bang my head against the wall more than a few times through this. But what we inevitably were able to settle on was terrific. And was a combination of Matt Filosa, our front ensemble electronics designer, and Adam Winkin, who ended up our battery arranger, who ended up pitching like the what ended up being sort of the winning version of this idea, which was we go out of that into the plaintive Up moment and into a tune that's been very popular for the last year. Jacob Collier arranged and performed with Coldplay. It's called Human Heart, which again, like we're in designing the show, we're way more concerned with what the audience feels and how they react to the different moments. It's how we set up the way it looks, the way the uniforms look. It's always sort of been the goal of Spirit since it was founded 47 years ago, is to be a chord that's impossible not to love. And so the heart you know, being the centerpiece of the show, and being really what the Corps has always tried to be about, made this tune fit, and it's obviously gorgeous, and sort of transitions out, and I'll play the arrangement in a second, but the very plaintive up piano melody, there's very little going on in the field, and you just hear the piano, and then it transitions into a version of this.
Boys, don't cry. Boys, keep it all inside. I tried to hide it.